Hey guys, how's it going? It's High Impact Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're doing a video kind of late at night. But this video is of a deck that we've done on here before, and that deck is Infernoid. So at one point I played 60 card Infernoid. This was the last time I actually played the deck, and we did really bad. It was like a really bad mess of, just everything. I ran a 60 card variant. 60 card variants of decks aren't good unless it's grass. Or Lightsworn, honestly. I feel Lightsworn is always an appropriate type of deck to run a 60 card deck for. So barring in mind that, let's get into the profile. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have watched this, please comment and subscribe. I appreciate any views on these videos. So starting out for our two of our small guys, we have one Pyramus and one Antra. These aren't actually too organized, so you're going to see a lot of things a little bit, all over the place. Some of the big guys we have one of a Tondel and one of Saitama's. Of our starters, 3 Decatron. Of our Spell and Trap Poppers, we have 2 copies of Petrulia. Of our Monster Poppers, we have 1 of Harmadic. Petrulia and Harmadic only require 1 monster to banish to summon. 1 of Saitama's. He's apparently the Garnet, everyone believes. 2 Noku, your big guy who dark holes the field and is a spell and trap negator. 2 of Deviati, your heavy storm, and also is a monster negator. And that's it for our monsters. We start out with the spells. We have 2 Dark Ruler No More. I think that this is an amazing going second deck. I love going second decks. That's just my opinion on. Certain decks just do really well going second. So I feel that this deck, in a going second situation, if you're not dealing against an FTK deck, going second is your best move. In some cases, first too, depending on how it goes. But this deck is actually prepared for both scenarios. So then we run 2 of Cosmic Cyclone. I think this is amazing for wiping out back row, because we are in a format where back row still exists. Format still exists. It's just online play now. We don't have our format until I think fall. So anyway, 3 of Monster Gate. You pull this off, you pretty much win the game. Most of the time. I mean, usually you do. Void Imagination, if you also, one of these cards that if you pull it off, you usually win. Of our other Void cards, we run 3 copies of, not Imagination, Vanishment. Searches out your Imagination or your trap card. 3 copies of Lair of Darkness. You might not think 3 layer is good, but I just like to see it because tributing your opponent's stuff off is amazing, and there's a lot of ways you can do it in this deck. 1 of mine and 1 of our Void expansion. This is necessary for a card later on, you'll see. Mine is just, there to stop your opponent until you can actually play the game. 1 copy of Terraforming in case you don't see your lair or your mine. Or, whatever. This is the card I was just previously talking about, set rotation. It would set, in some cases, either lair or mine on your side of the field, and the void card to their side of the field, so that you can start to either, figure out a way to play, or you have an option to play at that point. One of Instant Fusion, and another one of is Mind Control. Just things to bait out your opponent in some cases. You might as well use the ones that you have since you have them. Unfortunately, there aren't 1. So 3 copies of Void Feast. I figured since in some cases this deck does want to try and pull that off as fast as possible, this is a 3 of card. And then we run 2 copies of Trap Trick. I feel that this is the appropriate number. I don't like running 3. I just feel that in some cases if you draw too many of these, you have an issue. With Void Feast, that's not the case, because you can Void Feast away another Void Feast. So. And of our last 2 traps, there's 2 Dynamiscus. I feel that this is a good card too, because you can actually Monster Gate off Dynamiscus. Let's say you have a trap card and Dynamiscus is in graveyard, and you activate that trap card, be it Trap Trick or, let's say you have Trap Trick or, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the name, Void Feast. You can activate this, and then it basically doubles as a monster, and you can Monster Gate that card off, which is such an amazing thing to have, because sometimes you'll, not have the monster that you need when you need it. So we go on to the extra deck. This is the stuff that I'm running for the extra deck right now. We have one of Thousand Eyes Restrict. This is your only instant fusion target. We run 2 copies of Infernoid Tiara. Infernoid Tiara is just an amazing card. Plus, running a second one is, just in case you actually do pull off the Imagination twice, but most of the time it's to dump the other one. 1 copy of Omega to dump with Tiara. 2 copies of Nitis, Nitis to also dump with Tiara in some cases. And we go into our links, I think, from this point. 1 of IP, 1 of Gravity Controller, 1 copy of Hida, 1 of Crusadia Equimax. This is your OTK enabler. 2 copies of Beat Cop. I feel that if you run out of 1, having 2 is better because Lair is such an amazing card. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn for that IP. 1 copy of Almirage. In case they, or in case you dump a monster and you want to just have an active Infernoid in graveyard. 1 copy of Link Haribo. This is in case they actually Valor your Decatron. Both of these cards are for Decatron. This is in case your Decatron resolves and you just want to get rid of it. This is for in case you have your Decatron get negated. Just a good card to have just in case you need it also. So that's it for the deck profile. I'm sorry it's so long, but I do appreciate you guys for, watching this video if you have. Look forward to, hopefully, I want to say in the next week or 2, maybe Satellers. That's another deck that I'm working on right now. And we're also working on redoing Necros right now because I do want to play that deck. There's just so many decks I want to play because this format is so fun and interesting. I just enjoy being able to, have so many options to play different decks, just like everybody else does right now. Unfortunately, we're stuck inside for the unknown amount of time. I don't really know when that's going to be. So competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as IRL competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! We don't know when that's going to restart up. I just can tell you that this is also going to be a quick update video. So for anybody who's not interested in hearing anything that's been happening recently, this is everything that's been happening that everyone already probably knows about. Number 1, we're on quarantine. You all probably know this because you've been under it. But all our card shops, all of our events have stopped indefinitely. We were supposed to have regionals. I think it was like the end of, I want to say, March. And this is when we just moved into our new place. But that didn't happen. Things changed. And we also got a recent update for a few of the things. The first one being that apparently Worlds is no longer going to happen, which means Nationals for our area for like 2020 is not happening either. So I mean, I probably wasn't going. I told my friend I probably wasn't going. He's already canceled his reservations for Florida, which really sucks, but what can you do? This is such a rough time for us all. I don't, I can't imagine the people that are going through this current situation in such a struggle. I work roughly 3 days a week, and I was no longer able to work, but some people have their, their businesses, they have to close up, everything else like that. It's just such a struggle with everything that's going on, and I can't imagine how everyone is going through this, but everyone said this before, we just have to keep fighting through it, even though this is such a very unexpected and terrible situation. Apparently no one's dealt with this before. Any other updates? We've got confirmation that the Megatons for 2020 have Dragoon of the Red. That's an amazing card. So that's going to be a good thing. The very last update, this is something that I'm not tentatively sure on. So we were told that Nationals has been canceled. Worlds has been canceled as well, which unfortunately was actually in Minnesota. We were going to take that trip in the end of, I want to say it was not July. It's actually in August. So it's like the third week of July, or not third week of July, third week of August. That was going to be tentatively the trip that we were going to take, and we're still probably going to take it. There's supposed to be a YCS that weekend for Minneapolis, surprisingly. So, knock on wood, maybe that still exists. We don't know yet, because it seems like a lot of events have been canceled until roughly, I want to say, around that time frame. So, if everything goes well, hopefully we'll have that happen. But in the meantime, just look forward to deck profile videos. I don't know, maybe I'll do a box opening of Secret Slayers when we get the ability to, because right now we can't do that. There's not really too much of a recent change to anything. There's nothing that I can really tell you right now that you probably haven't already heard. You've probably already heard the recent updates that I've already given you. So, that's pretty much it. But thank you guys for watching the Infernoid deck profile. I appreciate any views, any, comments and stuff like that. And we'll see how this new name goes. I really don't want to go back to Stevie Evie quite yet, just because I don't really know if that actually would work. This channel is never probably ever going to take off anyways. But if it ever does, and if people actually ever are interested in my content, I'd really appreciate it if we could build this to a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, because I really love Yu-Gi-Oh. It's one of my favorite games, and I've been playing it for like 15 years. I've said that previously in like the past videos, if anyone watches my videos. But we are going to hopefully in June, we start doing maybe some live duels. I don't know. I want to get myself a camera, or at least a decent way to record videos that aren't through my phone. This is a very long video, and you guys don't have to watch this whole video if you don't want to. I understand it's just for the deck profile itself, but if you have been watching this video, I appreciate anything, and I'll cut it at about the 12-minute mark. I know this has been way too long anyways, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. I guess this is High Impact Yu-Gi-Oh out, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, see ya.